The lotus feet of the spiritual master are the abode of pure devotional service. I bow down to those lotus feet with great care and attention. My dear brother, my dear mind, it is through the grace of the spiritual master that we cross over this material world.
Make the teachings from the lotus mouth of the spiritual master one with your heart. Do not desire anything else. Attachment to the lotus feet of the spiritual master is the best means of spiritual advancement. By his mercy, all desires for spiritual perfection are fulfilled.
He who has given me the gift of transcendental vision is my Lord, birth after birth. By his mercy, divine knowledge is revealed within the heart, bestowing loving devotion and destroying ignorance. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character.
O spiritual master, ocean of mercy, and friend of the fallen souls, you are the teacher of everyone and the life of all people. O master, be merciful unto me and give me the shade of your lotus feet. May your glories now be proclaimed throughout the three worlds.
I have surrendered unto your fearless lotus feet. Please give your mercy, O Shri Gurudev. Savior of the fallen, please give me your mercy. I am the Savior of the fallen souls. All glories to you, Shri Gurudev. Yes, I was thinking to sing the Remembrance song again because of Advaita Brahmacharya's Bernstein. Okay, so today, remember the Vedic calendar is a moon calendar, and today is Saptami. Anyone know what Saptami means? Sapta means seven. Nice. So today's the seventh day of the waxing moon. So it's a crescent moon, seventh day. So today Advaita Prabhu was born on Saptami. And 6 days from now is Trayodashi, which means the 13th day of the waxing moon. And that is Nityananda Prabhu's parents' day on Saturday. So big day coming up on Saturday and a beautiful day today. Advaita was born in... So Advaita Prabhu, just for those who don't know, he is part of the Panchatattva. So when Mahaprabhu appeared, he appeared with 4 of his associates. And together they're known as Panchatattva. Advaita Prabhu was the one who called Mahaprabhu into the world. Advaita was born in 1434. And Mahaprabhu was born in, anyone remember the year? 1486. So Advaita Prabhu was born 52 years before Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu's birthday is coming up in about a little over a month. So Advaita Prabhu was 52 when he called Mahaprabhu. And about 13 months before Mahaprabhu appeared, Advaita Prabhu was really in a state of grieving about the state of humanity at that time. And the description that's given in Charitamrita is like everyone it's hard to understand today, but at that time, Navadvip in eastern Bengal was one of the world centers of learning. And along with great learning comes a lot of ego, and along with ego comes a lot of strange ways of ending up living your life to satisfy yourself. So it's described that like things were happening that were just made no sense. Like people were marrying their cats and their dogs and dressing them up. It was like described in the description, like that's what was happening at the time. I'm like, wow, I can relate to that a little bit. So, oh, you almost clogged yourself, my little angel. All right, bubbies. So Advaita Prabhu worshipped the Lord outside of a village named Shantipur, where he stayed, which is just near Navadvip, in the Ganga. And he worshipped Shalagram Shila every day, and worshipped very simply with Ganga water and tulasi, but desperately, and prayed for the Lord's advent. And then after 13 months, Mahaprabhu was born. And on a full moon during an eclipse, which is very meaningful, which we'll talk about later. But Advaita Prabhu, of course, was very happy. But Advaita Prabhu is said to be the source of the incarnation of Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is coming to satisfy the wish of the devotee. So he desperately prayed for 13 months, and Mahaprabhu appeared 13 months later. And that Shalagram Shila, which he prayed to, if anyone goes to Shantipur, that Shalagram Shila is still there in his house, which is preserved in Shantipur. So it's pretty amazing. Okay, so Jaya Advaita Prabhu. So we'll try to sing a song that has Advaita Prabhu in it, that we can worship him. Yes, that if you can find some of those shlokas, that would be great.
Sridhar, wasn't last year, did that line up with the full moon lunar eclipse and the clearance day?
With Mahaprabhu?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very intense.
I don't remember any other year lining up like that. Pretty unusual. Yeah, so the significance of the lunar eclipse is that it's considered so inauspicious when there's an eclipse in Vedic culture. So that everyone kind of runs towards the Ganga, Holy River, and starts to chant. And so then the Lord is born as this seemingly inauspicious moment is occurring.
But everyone
and everyone's
is
calling out to
calling
the
out
Lord.
the names of God.
So there's like that kind of twist. Because you can say, I mean, it's not really like digging and being super detective, like think that maybe things have gotten a bit dark, right? But then there's some significance to this calling out, right? There's some significance to this kind of motion in the midst of it being very hopeless, that there's deep hope hiding inside of it. So that's kind of like Mahaprabhu's is the hidden avatar for that reason, right? Coming in the darkest time. And so then even like very elevated souls are saying, actually it's the best time to be born. When everything's fallen apart, lifespan's so short, intelligence is so gone, everyone's just like basically like yanked around by their senses almost like inordinately. And so there's some extra kind of, right, they say like the medicine has to become stronger in order to deal with the time, so that it becomes like some kind of beautiful thing, which is, you know, kind of Mahaprabhu's, one of his specialties.
Okay, let's sing page 48. Right, do you want to?
The morning arti?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think like Rai is saying that everything in Krishna consciousness is not like separated from the world itself. Everything syncs together. Our realizations, our understanding, our experiences sync together with how the material world works. So it's a Krishna consciousness is living, and if we develop real Krishna consciousness, we'll see that everywhere. And that will be like a feeling of Oh, but that ecstasy all the time. Because you see Krishna everywhere. And that's our goal, that's our destination.
Kali kukura kadano dana jadi chao hai.
Kali kukura kadano jadi chao hai.
Kali juga pavana kali
you're like a miserable dog of Kali Yuga. If you want deliverance, then sing the holy name of the son of Shachi. He is the savior and destroyer of fear in this dark age of Kali.
He is the transcendental Cupid of Gadadhar, the life and soul of Nityananda Prabhu, and the worshipable Lord of Sri Advaita Acharya. He is known as Nimai. He was born under a neem tree, as he was born under a neem tree. Vishwambhara, as he is the sustainer of the universe. He is the master of Srivas Thakur, and he steals the hearts of all the devotees.
He is the moon of Nadia, the lord of Mayapur, and heroic savior who inaugurated the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. He is the teacher of all householders and the commander-in-chief of all sannyasis. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna filled with the ecstatic heart sentiment of Srimati Radharani.
He purified is it?
Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya.
He purified Sarvabhaumacharya and rescued
Prataparudra Maharaja.
Parvadu.
The great king of Orissa. He is the hero and protector of Ramananda Rai. He increases the ecstasy of Sri Rupa Goswami, and he is the guardian of Srila Sanatan Goswami. He delights the sober Haridas Thakur.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya is absorbed in the mellows of Vrindavan. He removes the filthy thoughts of the mind, destroying lust and deceit. He drives away dry empiric knowledge, which obscures the beauty of pure devotion. He is the protector, maintainer, and constant guardian of his pure devotees.
Did you find any verses, Didi, of Premada? Huh? The fourth verse? Which page? 92. Mm-hmm. Okay. Maybe we can sing the first 4 verses and we'll start with that. This is an amazing composition anyway. It's very appropriate.
You're going to sing the first 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
First 4, starting on page 90. Deva Siddha Mukta Yukta Bhakta Vrinda Vanditam Papota Podavadaho Dagdha Dukha Khanditam Deva Siddha Mukta Yukta Bhakta Vrinda Vanditam Krishna Nama Siddhu Dhama Dhanya Dana Sagara Prema Dhama Devameva Nami Gaura Sundaram Prema Dhama Devameva Nami Gaura Sundaram Prema Dhama Devameva Nami Gaura Sundaram Swarnakoti Darpanabha Deha Varna Gauravam Padmapari Jata Gandha Vanditanga Saurabham Swarnakoti Darpanabha Deha Murchitangre Ruparasarangaram Premodhamo devameva Naumi Gaura Sundaram Premodhamo devameva Naumi Gaura Panchatatvakatmakam Sangadivya Parshodastra Vaibhavavatarakam Parshodastra Vaibhavavatarakam Shama Gaura Namagana Nrityamata Nagaram Premadhama Devameva Naumi Gaura Sundaram Premadhama Devameva Naumi Gaura Shakalya dharma dukha dusaham Jiva dukha hano bhakta Saukhya dana vigraham Krishna Nama Sidhu Sancharam Premadhamo Devameva Naumi Gaura Sundaram Stotram ki Jaya.
Can we read all four?
Oh, sure, yeah.
The universal gods, perfected beings, salvationists, mystic yogis, and exalted servitors of the absolute truth. Sri Krishna constantly chanted the glories of Sri Gaura Sundar. The charming aura of Sri Gaura Sundar's divine figure resembles the reflection of millions of radiant golden mirrors.
I think you're reading two.
Oh, all right, sorry. Okay, the universal gods, perfected beings, salvationists, mystic yogis, and exalted servitors of the absolute truth, Sri Krishna, constantly chanted the glories of Sri Gaura Sangha. In regard to Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, Srila Rupa Goswami has mentioned the following verse in his Chaitanya Ashtakam. Sarapayasa Shriman Drita Manina Kayam Prana Panayi Tiam.
Ahadbhir Vanayad Girisha Parameshti Prabhritibhi.
The gods, headed by Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, accepted the garb of ordinary men in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Dev in order to eternally worship him with heartfelt attention. Sri Chaitanya Dev is the embodiment of that vast nectarine ocean found in Lord Krishna's holy name, which is none other than Sri Gauranga's own pure name. Sri Chaitanya Dev is compared to that grand milk ocean, which after being churned produce nectar. The nectar of Mahaprabhu distributes as Lord Krishna's holy names, which extinguish all the miseries of material existence, such as anxieties arising from sinful activities, where are we? Oh, performed in direct opposition to the Lord, and the threefold sufferings which fuel the grand forest fire that scorches those in search of sense gratification, salvation, and mystic yoga perfections. I offer my obeisances to that beautiful golden Lord, Gauranga Sundar, the divine form of Krishna Prema.
The charming aura of Sridhar Sundar's divine figure represents the reflection of millions of radiant golden mirrors. Furthermore, the personified sweet fragrance of the earthly and heavenly lotus flowers humbly offer their prayers before the aromatic scent which permeates the air from the beautiful form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Millions and millions of cupids fall unconscious before the feet of Sri Chaitanya Dev's elegant figure. They are severely shocked because their sense of universal fame arising from their beautiful splendor is checked. While performing his joyful pastimes of dancing, the divine form of Sri Gauranga Dev playfully sways to and fro. The flowing pulsations of the Lord's limbs move in rhythm with the various charming moods of devotional sentiments, bhava, overwhelming his graceful figure. I offer my obeisances to that beautiful golden Lord, Gauranga Sundar, the divine form of Krishna Prema.
By manifesting his fivefold aspect of divinity, Panchatattva, Sri Gauranga Dev was able to widely distribute the sweet names of Lord Krishna, which is the means to the ultimate attainment in human life, unalloyed love for the absolute truth. Sri Krishna, the fifth end. The fifth end refers to that which is beyond the attainment of religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. The Lord personally incarnated on the earth planet with his expansions such as the Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya, his intimate associates such as Gadadhar Pandit, and his other general associates such as Srivas Thakur. When the Lord appears, he comes armed with the weapon of the holy name of Krishna. While dancing in the deepest ecstasies of pure love, Lord Gauranga Dev, although none other than Shama Sundar, chanted his own names, just like an ordinary citizen in the Nadia district. I offer my obeisances to that beautiful golden Lord, Gauranga Sundar, the divine form of Krishna Prem.
These are such condensed.
I know,
There's
there's so
many
much.
things out of that. I mean, just that there's so many, and we can stop on any of the verses and spend the rest of the whole day. That's how condensed they are. But it's just this last verse, verse 3. It's such an amazing. It's a proposal that we need to put into our own minds. When they're saying it's referring to the fifth end, when they're saying the attainment, what is beyond religiosity? What religion is kind of promising you is like if you do kind of some good things, then you'll go to some kind of good place. And it's not wrong, right? There is some kind of karmic operation in the universe, and things are coming back towards us despite our trying to avoid them. right? So that, like, and if we're honest, we know what's happening, right? It's just, there's some operating systems at play. And so that's true. And then it's saying economic development is like, becoming powerful, and, like if you're gaining some wealth in this world, I mean, that's like a major thing. These are huge things, and it's saying it in one sentence, so you're almost glossing over, like, what are we even talking about here? You're saying, okay, so the attainment of religiosity is like, try to do some good, and like, it's gonna help you and elevate you. But ultimately, what they're saying the fifth end is far beyond being good. And maybe that's why we don't totally resonate just with that, because you're in deep search of feeling ultimately, right? And there's almost something that's like tepid about like this person that's like bound by a bunch of rules, and they're like almost like a bot in a sense of like they're not expressing, right? Because like full expression of love has so much feeling inside of it, and ultimately will supersede any kind of rule with deep sacrifice, right? So then that person goes, I don't care actually what's happening to me. I love you so much, I'm willing to go wherever this goes. And then that's going to be considered deeper than like the rules, right? That's why mercy over justice and beauty over power, right? These things are important for us. So like, in these Vaishnava or saintly prayers, you're saying, if I'm appealing to the court of justice, I'm feeling like a little concerned, but I'm appealing to, I hear that you're very merciful and very kind, right? When I hear you're the friend of the devotee, I'm feeling nervous. When I hear you're the friend of the fallen, I'm feeling like very warm. So you're going, okay, there's some principles that are very deep here, that you're searching for something far more than being good, even though being good is helpful, but it's not the thing. That's not like what makes you wake up in the morning with tons of like energy to like just, be good in a certain, and also good can be kind of subjective to whatever place you're in. And so then it's good here. You're looking for absolute goodness, and you're looking for feeling. That's what the fifth end is starting to like point your consciousness into something deeper, right? And then it goes economic development, sense gratification. It's like, okay, and it's alluded to here. It's like the forest fire. It's like all of your senses, you're existing in your entire hologram of what you're existing in is through your senses, and they're ultra limited, and all they do is desire, right? That's the situation you're in, right? So like your eyes, like we don't even know what's happening outside of this wall. We're really stuck, right? It's like your skull-sized kingdom. That's like what Shelley's a British poet. He referred to, you're living within your skull-sized kingdom, right? So even what you want is extremely limited to what your senses are like telling you to want in that moment, right? And this is proven. Like you're not like wishing for like the Learjet. You just want something a little bit more than what you have right now. And then you're gonna run after them. And then like what the scriptures are trying to say is, if you slave after your senses every day, unceasingly, they will not relent on you, and they won't give you satisfaction. And so that's a really important principle, because that's what we do. We open up our eyes in the morning. Again, we're back in this, like we've forgotten who we were. We open our eyes, we're thrown back into our body, like, and like immediately the mind is on AI of like, how can I extract some enjoyment out of this day, right? And then at the threat of no enjoyment out of the day, we're starting to feel the inklings or the first part of anxiety, right? And so everything is centered on a kind of small world of like aggrandizing our senses. And if we don't pause on them, it's not like we go, oh my gosh, if I just like drank more, it would just assuage and like calm that necessity for drinking that I have. The thirst would be like quenched, right? And so then there's these scriptural sentences from the very old world in Sanskrit, thousands of years, and they're saying like no amount of a finite thing will satisfy an infinite thirst, because what you are is actually a little bit more than what you realize, and you're mysterious even to yourself, and there's something that's going on inside of you that's not just needing stuff for your senses, right? And so like the beginning of that thought process is like, I did something for someone else and I felt something kind of strangely warm inside. Ooh, what's going on? Like there's some like tar-like movement going on in these tectonic ways. That's the beginning. If you see something beautiful in that, that's the beginning of like starting a quest. Like where is actually satisfaction coming? Because it's not a secret, even though the secret is telling you certain things. Everyone wakes up and wants to do things that will make them happy. And if happiness is eluding us, it means that we're stuck in a pattern, right? That's like, we have to go there. It's like, it's not like we wake up, we go like, gosh, I wish it could be a really rough day where hopefully no one's waking up going like, maybe like a worse betrayal can happen where my trust is eroded even more in the environment, so if we've already been prioritizing trying to find some level of happiness and it's still eluding us, then that opens up the doorway for the honest quest of what is actual happiness and what is actually going on inside of this world of these windows of the senses. And that's a worthy question. And so imagine this is getting like, it's almost like a sideline in this verse. These are the major pulls. Your senses, getting some wealth and some power, being kind of good. And you're going, what you're actually in search of is true connection with who? Anadir Govinda Sarva Karna Karnam. Who is the cause of all causes? What is behind this multiverse? And then there's these major pathways that we have to explore. Like, is it all chaos that's occurring? Or is there purpose that's happening, right? And then we start to go like, okay, there's a scientific kind of process where we start to go, is it all actually chaos? And I'm just a random bag of cells here? Or is there am I actually more than like what this thing is? And what the Vedic scriptures are saying is not only is it not chaos and divine purpose is infused to the very firmament of everything, but you also have your place. You're not an accident in this universe that is fully, and then the word that's used by our teachers is very interesting. It's the organic whole. And organic signifies it's alive, right? Organic whole means the totality of what's occurring is alive, right? That means not only am I something that's existing with some consciousness, no matter whether it's like convoluted or very clear or full of clarity or having a rough go, something's impelling this thing. And then the question is where was I 100 years ago, right? Is this really just all I've been inside of is just this day? And there's many people who have realizations on these, and we have to ask them of ourselves, where was I 100 years ago, right? And then that's the beginning. And the Vedas are very, very confident in their explanation. They're saying a wise man, he's seeing you're leaving one body behind and entering another body and not disturbed by such a change. And you're going like, whoa, what is this realization on the nature of where I've arrived and what I'm existing within? But the organic whole signifies that not only am I alive and everything's alive, but the very source of reality is also alive and moving. And we are also moving. And that's what makes everything about spiritual life deeply exciting, not just some kind of thing of like, thousands of years ago they chanted these verses and, like they were archaic cavemen kind of people and we've kind of figured out AC and heat and like self-driving cars. Actually, we didn't figure this out, we just kind of use them sometimes, right? But it's like, that's not the zenith of sophistication, right? These same things that are kind of plaguing in the past, future generations have their own journey to go on. And there's a part of us that needs to connect with that. And if we can, we start to say them more and more explicitly because they're almost like in an AI sort of background thing that we're adhering to in our internal software, which is, I think I'll actually be really happy if I just get more stuff. Like we're secretly thinking that. But if we say it out loud, as soon as you say it out loud, there's like a psychological term that says you have to name it to tame it. As soon as you say it out loud, you know it's not true. You know that you're not just one sensory object short and ecstasy is there. It's important. It's important. And then you go, and if that's not true, the event horizon has now just expanded in terms of what the possibilities of being a human is. That's important. That's very important. Because now my questions have changed. My question isn't what's that one thing that's going to fill in this kind of weird gap-like space that I'm experiencing in my life that just doesn't fill, And then we can even see our relationships in the same way. All these things, and instead of saying oh my God, think about this idea from the East that's so amazing. It's like namaste. It's like by divine providence, we have been placed in each other's and I bow down. I respect that person that's inside of you. By some kind of miraculous circumstance, we're here in this room, right? All of a sudden, everything is becoming very interesting, It's so vital and important that you say it out loud and you go, wait a second. If the wealthy people of this world, if they're not experiencing ecstasy, then ecstasy is not hiding in wealth. And then you're, where is this very subtle thing hiding? And now you have a conversation that you can walk into where you're going, well, they're saying that this unusual quality, they're saying like, oh, humility, this is like this notion that you're in proximity to something wonderful. And this idea of humility is, I don't actually understand what's going on in this universe. I don't really understand the full spectrum of possibilities that's occurring. And then the scriptures say, if you can start to adopt this feeling inside of your heart, many things will come revealed to you. But you can barely have that conversation with yourself until you start getting a little clearer on like, wait, it's true. Happiness was kind of elusive to me. I don't understand all the variables that are happening. We barely even, if we don't know ourselves, how do we even barely know anyone else? You know, it's all quite like layers and layers of hidden things going on. And so then you're going, oh, I don't understand. And then that's where the sincere question, right? And then you hear like from these old scriptures, you know, ask and you shall receive. That this is a spiritual process to ask questions of the universe. It's a spiritual process to feel. And then if you go into the old Greek on those kinds of sentences, it's even more interesting because it's not ask and you shall receive, which is kind of a singular. It's you are asking and you are receiving. Means you're when one question is satisfied inside of your internal world, oh, another one is coming. And then you're going, oh, like, oh, universe that I don't understand and I'm not the supreme controller of. How will I find my satisfaction if I ask this next question? And then the next kind of like evolution, right? Because what you're searching for, if you're really in search of the infinite will not be enclosed within your skull-sized kingdom. The spiritual life that you're in search for must be outside of the control tower of your mind, right? And that's such a strangely relieving meditation. You're looking for the Lord who's not existing as a fantasy of your own mind. Right? You want, and then that's where you get these sentences of like reality the beautiful, reality as it is, right? And reality, what is the word even? Like what is real? I'm searching for what is real and I'm kind of somehow or other not actually relating with the real thing. So that you think of like how condensed these verses are. He's saying, hey, these are the things that you're not looking for. And the fifth end of life, which is actually like a heart reciprocation with the Lord and the entirety of the environment, where there's deep connection in a mood of like servitude, affection, and love. There will be some feeling that nothing in this external energy can actually even come close to comparing with, which is also such an amazing thing. And then we have to go on our own journey and go like, okay, is that actually true? You know? Is it, you know, are they trying to trick me? You know, are all these verses, have they wandered through the dark and they're leaving these verses as lighthouses for us to kind of contemplate them? And then you have to go, okay, I will ask that next question. And then you have to like, you know, listen to your own interior space. And then what's the prerequisite for the internal conversation is some level of auspicious honesty, which is a strange thing. SCSMission means auspicious interior reflection. So authentic. And so the dark side is we're kind of tricking ourselves and we're not willing to go there, but part of us is. And so you want to expand on that part, right? Because to the extent that I'm having an honest interior conversation, that's to the extent that it will actually reveal itself to me. And auspicious means the dark side of like interior examination is like, oh, I'm really terrible. I've got this quality. It's all hopeless, right? Auspicious means, oh, I have some motion, right? You don't want to get stuck in that because it's almost like you're almost like feeding that space in consciousness. So auspicious investigation has to go with, oh, I perceive some motion can happen inside of me. How amazing. How wonderful is that, right? And there's some kind of like dialogue that's occurring because nothing's frozen. If everything's dynamic, including the Lord, that means we also are something in motion, right? In search of progressive movement. You know, that's the thing that's wonderful. No one's happy with like a Groundhog's Day, repetition. You're in search of novelty, right? And the Lord, there's a very nice name for the Lord. It's Navayovana, means who is ever fresh, right? So you are searching for? Something that is ever fresh, right? The infinite must be ever fresh. You're not going to like figure it all out, and like it will always be some newfound type of experience of like some kind of reciprocal joy, more than what we conceive at every integer of the journey. So that's also supremely exciting, right? It should feel, everything about spiritual life is supremely exciting. And actually, it's a huge drama that we're all arriving temporarily and leaving temporarily. That adds some like heightened necessity to the quest, right? We're not just like laying here in a pool of warm water, like, endlessly in the same situation. It's like, no, this thing is moving, and it's forcing movement, right? So that's also very exciting. You go, oh, it's not the same. So anyways, this is just a tiny idea of Sri Premadhamma Sutra. Yeah, we didn't read, well, Maharaj started it, and then we went back to verse 1.
Appearing in his deity form, Shri Gauranga Dev removed the miserable conditions of the living entities and increased the devotional pleasure of his devotees. The Lord incarnated because he was unable to tolerate the grief-stricken condition of Sri Advaita Acharya, the master of that charming village of Santipura. Sri Advaita Acharya was lamenting about this era being overtaken by the ugly influence of irreligious practices. Thus, in order to arrest the immortal activities in Kali Yuga, the Lord profusely distributed the sweet nectar of Lord Krishna's holy name. I offer my obeisances to that beautiful golden Lord, Gauranga Sundar, the divine form of Krishna Prema. Jaya Shri Advaita Acharya, Jaya Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu.
Thank you all today for participating in the Kirtan. All the devotees ki Jaya. Today is Advaita Saptami. We can remember his pastimes a little bit, and then we can also talk about any thought or question that anyone has. Marj, I can start and sort of relate a little bit if you have anything that you feel inspired to share. That'd be great. So Advaita Prabhu was born in, this is kind of interesting. I particularly love this part of India, and I've not spent enough time there. But he was born in far northeastern part of what is currently Bangladesh. And it was a kingdom called Srihata. And his father was a minister of the king there. And this place it's just magnificent. There's a huge river in northeast India, which hardly anyone sees because it's really hard to get there. There's really bad roads. It's very mountainous. One of the highest rainfalls. Most years, somewhere in northeast India is the highest rainfall in the world. Most years. So it's incredibly wet, and there's an absolutely monster river there called the Brahmaputra. And that's where that kingdom is, south of the Brahmaputra, and then when it starts to turn south and go straight down through Bangladesh and join the Ganga. And so that kingdom is just to the east of that, like the Brahmaputra is to the west of where he was born. So he's very far eastern India, almost near Myanmar, Burma. And I don't know, I find that amazing that he's born in a kingdom there. But he did make his way. He was, like I said, he was born to a minister. His father's name was Kubera Mishra. And he made his way to just outside of Nadia in Shantipur, a beautiful, really, even today, very beautiful village on the Ganga. And as we mentioned before, Advaita Prabhu, he was highly learned. He was a composer in Sanskrit. And he was in a state of pain, seeing the state of the people around him. searching only for their gratification in external things. And as Rai was very beautifully saying, those things they don't contain infinite gratification. It's said that fundamental to the soul is kama bij, which means there's a seed of desire within us. And that impels us in so many ways. We're just impelled by desire. But what is the actual desire? We haven't actually taken time to focus upon that. We just know we're in need. So we run around trying to fill that. And because it's natural to us and we're a portion of the infinite, that desire cannot be satisfied outside of relationship with the infinite. So he was in pain seeing that everyone is just running after finite things and not satisfying their soul. So he prayed to the Lord, and Mahaprabhu appeared. Advaita was very highly respected in that society. He had a royal lineage and also was a great scholar. He composed multiple books in Sanskrit. And so throughout, when Mahaprabhu was born, immediately Advaita recognized him. His wife was Sita Thakurani, who was also a great scholar and a great, amazing person. But there's this part in Chaitanya Charitamrita where it's described that when Mahaprabhu was born, of course, Advaita Prabhu recognized him. He said that old Vedic mantram, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmanya Hitaya, basically saying that this is Krishna born. Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namah. That Advaita Prabhu said that when he met Mahaprabhu. Very amazing thing. But his wife Sita Thakurani brought so many nice clothings and articles of gold and other things, but one of the things that stood out to me in Charitamrita was describing what she brought tiger's nails covered in gold for him to wear on his chest, and she named him Nimai as well. So just an incredible family. They had 6 sons, and 2 of Advaita Acharya Prabhu's sons were married, and 4 of them were sannyasis. And they never took anything. They left their home and they wandered in their whole life with no possessions, living off the grace of the universe. And one of them, Achyutananda Mishra, was initiated by Mahaprabhu. He was a disciple of Mahaprabhu. And he was a sannyas that just wandered. And so as Mahaprabhu grew up, Advaita was in his early 50s when Mahaprabhu was born. And of course he was respected by the whole society. And Mahaprabhu was always giving his respect to Advaita Acharya. Of course, Advaita Acharya knows who Mahaprabhu is, and he's always like very disturbed. Mahaprabhu's coming, oh, Baba, touching feet, like that. Mahaprabhu's like, I know. Advaita's like, I know who you are. Don't play with me. And one time, Advaita Prabhu decided to make Mahaprabhu show his position. So he began to preach Advaita, what's called Advaitavad. Advaitavad is this philosophy, because Mahaprabhu was preaching prema, as Rai was saying, this 5th end of life is divine love. It means relationship, interaction. And in order to have interaction, you have to have individuality. So there's 2 kind of main competing thoughts within, interpretation of the Veda, and one is called Advaitavad. And Advaitavad means there is no duality. Everything is one, which is partially true. And Advaita Prabhu began to preach Advaitavad. There's only one reality. Everything is one. There is no distinction. There is no, right? All of that is illusion. And Mahaprabhu became so disturbed, like, what is this? Have you lost your mind? Why are you preaching this? And Advaita's like, it's obviously the truth, basically. Which is hilarious, because in a sense, it's like you have 2 people that are in the one having a conversation about whether it's the one. So it's kind of like, how's that happening? And So then Mahaprabhu slaps Advaita. And when Advaita Prabhu gets slapped by Mahaprabhu, he like throws his arms up and begins to dance in ecstasy. And he's like, finally, you're dropping your pretenses. And he says, now you've shown who is who. And then he did a famous worship of Mahaprabhu's feet with sandalwood water and sandalwood paste and rose petals. There's like this whole beautiful thing, arghya, this beautiful worship of Mahaprabhu's feet, and he did that worship, and Mahaprabhu accepted that worship, and he said, you ask a gift from me, anything, and you'll have it. And Advaita Prabhu said, I want that even the lowest of mankind, the most fallen, the most incoherent, the most, he said, I want that they will receive love of God. That's my only gift I ask from you. The beautiful pastime of Advaita Acharya Prabhu. And then later, as we were saying, Advaita Prabhu, when his parents died, he went to Vrindavan. And Vrindavan was basically Jung deity Madan Mohan under a tree in Vrindavan. And he gave, one of the people in Vrindavan was attracted by Advaita Prabhu. He gave him initiation. And then that person worshipped Madan Mohan in a very simple way under a tree until Sanatana Goswami came there. And then when Sanatana Goswami came, then Madan Mohan was given by Advaita Prabhu's disciple to Sanatana Goswami. And Sanatana Goswami worshipped him under a tree. Sanatana Goswami would, again, he was a beggar. He went from being the prime minister of a huge kingdom called Goda to a beggar in Vrindavan. And whenever he would get a little bit of flour, or whenever someone would come and give him something, he would make very simple, like flour and water balls for his deity. And those flour and water balls are still made for that deity today. Very beautiful. And then one day, well, I'm getting a little bit off topic, but one day, like a very wealthy merchant, his boat ran aground in the Jamuna, right in front of where Sanatana Goswami was sitting. And he had a huge load of salt on the boat, which was incredibly valuable at that time. Now we're like, we kind of think salt, but for most of history, salt was traded at the same value of gold per weight because it's critical to life. You can't live without it. So the salt merchant his boat ran aground, and he came to Sanatana Goswami and he says, oh, Sadhuji, my boat's run aground, like help me. And Sanatana Goswami gave him a mantra, and he said, pray to Krishna and your boat will be released. And he prayed to Krishna, his boat was released, and then he was like, whoa, he was Punjabi. And then he built this Madan Mohan temple, this famous, stunning temple that was built. Anyways, all wonderful histories flowing. But Advaita Prabhu lived until he was 125 years old. And his two sons that had children, there's a famous lineage called Advaita Parivar, who is coming from the line of Advaita Prabhu. And anyways, such wonderful things. But this is that day that Advaita Prabhu came. And all these associates of the Lord, they're all wonderful in their own right. Their life is full of mystery and giving and sacrifice. Today is that day. So
Madan Mohan Temple is still there.
Yeah.
And when you go there, you can feel like the power of devotion that has been there for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Closing your eyes, praying, chanting Krishna's name. It's another world. Vrindavan is another world. And Madan Mohan practically is central in Vrindavan.
Oh, a couple of other things with Advaita, sorry, that I did not mention. His guru was Madhavendra Puri, and one of his famous disciples was Haridas Thakur, was a disciple of Advaita Acharya, who's called Namacharya, Srila Haridas Thakur, who chanted the name incessantly. And Haridas Thakur was actually born in a Muslim family. that he was a great devotee. And in Islam, if you ever leave Islam, that's like a capital offense. If you're Muslim and then you leave Islam, that means you're going to get killed. So Haridas Thakur was caught by the Muslim authorities and was whipped in 22 marketplaces. And then, that's a whole other mystery, how he left his body and then came back and was thrown in the river, etc. But ultimately, Haridas Thakur went to Puri and lived with Mahaprabhu for the rest of his life and passed there. All wonderful things. So many. So Jai Srila Advaita Acharya Prabhu ki Jai, Advaita Saptami ki Jai, Jai Pancha Tattva Prabhu ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol.
Where can you find all these historic pastimes? It's in the, is it Chaitanya?
Chaitanya Charitamrita is the source of the kind of the main pastime with Mahaprabhu and kind of. But in terms of
Things of the history and the plays he's done and what you were talking about earlier.
I mean, those are just kind of available in different biographies of Advaita Prabhu.
Okay.
Who's his father? Where was he born? Yeah. Shantipur is amazing. Shantipur is gorgeous. Like I said, that same Shalagram Shila that Advaita Prabhu prayed is still there in Shantipur. You can see that Shalagram Shila. And also Babla is the place where he did that worship, which is a little bit outside of Shantipur. I think we've probably all been there. It's like maybe you have to take a little rickshaw ride, but where Advaita would go into the Ganga and do that prayer every day is also there, and there's a nice little temple there too. Yeah.
I know Krishnadas Babaji. Well, was it Krishnadas Babaji?
Kaviraj.
Krishnadas Kaviraj.
Yes.
To be 120.
Yeah. Yeah, Advaita Prabhu, he left in he was born in 1434 and he left in 1559 or something like that. It was the whole next century and into it.
All of his sons.
Mm-hmm. That's just it's in biography. Yeah. And they all have, I don't remember all their names, but they all have really nice names Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Bala, they all have little bits of information that you kind of have to pull together. That's actually something Avadhu Maharaj is working on right now.
And the other two that weren't sannyasis,
Yeah.
were they the youngest or the oldest? Do they have family?
I don't know. They definitely have family, yeah. They have family, and their line has, in Advaita Parivar, Parivar means the line from Advaita. But their line has some of the best, even in the 1800s, 1900s, some of the best well-recognized poets in Bengal are coming in that Advaita Parivar line.
Was the most notable,
Yeah, Achyutananda was a follower of Mahaprabhu. But it's not known what happened to him. He was literally like a sannyas. I mean, there's this idea in sannyas that you never sleep under the same tree twice. So you're always moving in the world, being guided by a larger flow, and subsisting on whatever comes to you naturally. You don't do anything to provide for your own sustenance. It's this complete walk of faith. So he wandered, and nobody knows what happened to him. But he is a true sannyasi, just literally wandering the world. Okay, Jai Srila Advaita Acharya ki Jai.
But it's nice to notice also that actually devotee can call upon Lord to come. That is very powerful and sweet.
Yeah.
Purity is the force.
And to be filled with that kind of merciful feeling toward everyone that you want to help. And you do serious sacrifice. I mean, if we do a sacrifice where it's we do a 3-day fast or something like that, we're whoo, man, that was tough. Or, you know what I mean? It's these guys are sacrificing for months and years. Feeling, why would someone do that, right? You're feeling some type of deeper thing that's giving you joy outside of superficial things. Okay. Any other thought or comment or question? Yeah, of course.
It's also in that fourth shloka is very nice because it's such a sweet and short. You always reflect how Guru Maharaj put that in a very, very short, very condensed way. But when you start to kind of look at, it's just so much coming. For example, that a charming village of Santipur from which Advaita Acharya came, sweets, very sweet. And then another one, like Lord was pity the grief-stricken heart of Advaita, that he sees these horrible things happening.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to come actually to bring joy to Advaita.
Uh-huh.
It's not the whole big thing of
They had that
things,
same
you know. He
feeling.
just wants to please his devotee. It's very, very sweet reflection. And another one, what he comes with against those irreligiosities, what he comes with, he's coming for Krishna Nam. That's it. Nothing, not big rules, not big regulations, not big, okay, now you call me, now I'm giving to these people this heavy stuff to go on, you must, line up with that. He brings the holy name. He brings Krishna's name. Harinama. He brings Harinama. Harinama as what? As the religion of the time. So we are in this zone, in this beautiful, merciful, mercy pouring
Time.
Through the very simplest of all.
Yeah, this yuga.
Harinama Sankirtan.
Jaya.
Can you just say one thing about this yuga, Sudarshan? You know, how Krishna Mahaprabhu comes, but this Mahaprabhu comes in a special yuga.
Arjuna Torgor says. So right now we're in what's, I guess it's really helpful because the complexity of the Vedic understanding is so far beyond anything that we're used to, right? It's important to know that when you start reading the Vedas, all the Arabic numerals, they come from the Vedas. And the Arabic numerals are the only reason why you can do math. Like if you ever go to Italy and you see like the year that something, like an old statue was built in, it's like, it says 1869, it's like this long. You know what I mean? It's like XVV111CCCC, blah, blah. It's like, right? You can't do math with that. They did it pretty well, to be honest, but it's really difficult. But the numbers that are conceived of in the Vedas are not conceived of anywhere until modern times. There are numbers in the billions and billions and billions and billions, right? And there's no ability to express that or conceive those outside of the Vedas. So there's a huge expansive view of the universe that's multiple billions and billions and billions of years old. And time is moving in a cycle, and in the particular part of the universe that we're in, we're moving in a 4-yuga cycle. Each of the yugas has a certain amount of years of our sun that it lasts. And we are right now in the last of the 4 yugas called Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is sometimes called the age of quarrel, the age of selfishness, the age of anxiety. And Kali Yuga lasts for 432,000 years, and we are 5,000 years in. We got a little ways to go. So Mahaprabhu Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in his song, Kali Yuga Pavana Kali Bhaya Nashana. Mahaprabhu is the savior of Kali Yuga, and Kali is marked with an intense, pervasive, and never-ending fear, anxiety, always. And that's called Kali Bhaya. And Kali Bhaya Nashana means the destroyer of Kali Bhaya. And there's a wonderful internal posture toward the waves of experience that are flowing over the field of our consciousness that Mahaprabhu is teaching. And that posture is called Sharanagati. Sharanagati means that actually shelter is coming. Sweetness is coming toward you. And you have to orient in that conscious mood. So Sharanagati is the deepest internal spiritual practice of ultimately communing with the source of reality. To drop your suspicion and fear and to come into a posture of contribution and participation without limit to life, in love and in service. It's the greatest, most wonderful invitation to the dance of existence. And that's ultimately what Mahaprabhu is teaching. So it's a very rare and glorious gift that we can start to ponder, place upon an altar within our heart, and in the days of our life try to move toward this in communion with the Lord in Harinam. Mahaprabhu is saying, always be chanting the mantra. The mantra means yoke your mind. Your mind is going to shoot out in a million places. But yoke your mind in divine love. Yoke your mind in sweetness. Jai Shri Gaurachandra Mahaprabhu ki jai. So, that's the gift of Kali Yuga. That such a simple and beautiful process is given by the Lord. That anyone can do it at any time, at any point in their life. You don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to do anything. Live your same life and orient internally to live in communion with the Lord. Jai Shri Shri Gaurachandra Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Jaya said she's not gonna.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen before.
She's such a nut.
Yashomati Nandana Raja Barona Dada
Suramuni Vandana Abadhaya Khandana Jayo He
Vrinda, keep going.
Good job.
How's your minute?
No water, Sam. Got it.
Babs. Hi, Babs.
Rescue you for ripping apart the microphone.
Give me a shot, please.
Oh yeah. He has two bottom teeth.
Okay. Who's doing the rolling? Shameful display.
But I can't even imagine Buzz out of
That's so, you know those boys, don't you?
Yeah.
Sean,
I know that.
is it true you've been blackpilling,
I know those
bro?
uncles.
John May, roll.
Done. Boys, go pulse. Can you guys get this?
Sure.
Your dad's keys. Phone. Mark, I think you have to move your chair.